Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York. My name is Julie Amberg, and I've been a member here for 21 years plus. I'm the chair of your board of directors. While I have a moment, I know we do a service at the end of the year to praise our volunteers, but I just want to, hold up the volunteers again. Everyone is working so hard. You all know that we have one person on the staff, 1 5/8 person. Thank you, Gretchen. So there's a lot going on, and everybody has volunteered across the board, RE, B&G, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you, volunteers. It really makes me feel warm and glad to be your chair. We have a few announcements. If you have come to UUCY today with children, we're delighted to have you. After our time for all ages this morning, we'll sing our children and youth out so they can go downstairs with our teachers for religious education classes. Our nursery is always available for children age 4 and younger. You can sign your child up for RE at uucy.org/registration. And you can always volunteer to teach or just be in the classroom if you choose. And you can do that at uucy.org/teacher sign up. Families with 5th and 6th grade youth or 8th and 9th grade youth should mark their calendars and spread the word about Our Whole Lives, OWL, which is our sexuality education program, and we're going to be doing these in 2025. We still have a few spots available for 5th and 6th grade OWL that begins in February, and an orientation for 8th and 9th grade OWL will happen in March in preparation for the program launch in the fall. And you can find out more at OWL at ucy.org. More information is there. If you feel that you would like to become a UCY member, join our church, our Pathway to Membership series is starting again soon. Those interested to begin part 1 online at their own pace before gathering in person for parts 2 and 3 on February 8th and Saturday, March 22nd, you can find out more information about it at our welcome desk in the lobby. Today, after church, we have a special coffee hour. It's going to be over in the carriage house. Please just go down the stairs, or you can take the elevator. And in the carriage house during coffee hour, we have the first of what I hope are many art shows by members of our community. Carol Stowell is our first artist to hang her works. There she is. Thank you, Carol. And thank you to the Aesthetics Committee for putting this all together. Also, for your pleasure, you can go in the carriage house while you're looking at her art, go into the sunroom. We are having a book sale in there. This is a great book sale. Hardcover books are $2, softcover are $1. So it's a steal, and there's some really good books in there. I helped set it up a little bit, and we have lots and lots of books. So please browse the books, please buy the books. The sale will be there next Sunday as well. Just the last thing, year-end giving statements from our stewardship committee are now available. Mary Rosario and maybe Don Callow, I didn't see them yet in the lobby. They'll be out there in the lobby. They'll be looking for you, but you can go find them as well. All right, now that we've addressed the business, let's begin to turn our attention to worship. Whoever you are, whoever you love, we're glad your faith journey brought you here today. The mission of this congregation is to nurture a loving community, inspire lifelong spiritual and personal growth, and act for a better world. We welcome all of you joining us in person or online If you're joining us for the first time, we invite you to visit our welcome desk in the lobby, or you can send an email to visitor@uucy.org. We invite you to bring your whole self into this sanctuary space with us. If you're here in the sanctuary, please turn your cell phones and other devices to worship mode, which is silent or vibrate. If it'd be helpful for you to sketch or color during the service, we do have in the back a spirit cart with items on it. You can go find activities there. Let's now mark this time made sacred by our presence by taking a collective breath. Again, welcome to UUCY. In the sanctuary, symbol of our living tradition, those joining us remotely are also invited to light a candle or chalice of their own. Today, our chalice lighting words are entitled, Created in the Image of Love by Karishma Gottfried. Each of us was created in the image of love, wherever we come from, wherever we're going. Whoever we are, whomever we love. We proclaim with love on our side, our bodies are sacred, our minds are blessed, our spirits are beloved. May we be open to receive more love, always more love. Please rise in body and spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 1015. Your order of service is incorrect. It's 1015 in your teal hymnal.
Good morning, friends. I would like to invite those who feel young in body or in spirit to come forward and join me on the rug this morning. I have a very special storybook that I found this week, written by Ali Raceman, who was an Olympic gold medal winning gymnast. You might remember her from 2016. She has written this book with illustrations by B. Jackson called From My Head to My Toes. Welcome, good morning. So, the story begins. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am unique. I am enough from my head to my toes. My body is just right for me. From my head to my toes, look at all the things my body can do. I love, I love my body, and I am kind to my body. I eat yummy food, snuggle with my stuffed animals, and wear my favorite cozy shirt. I ask my body what it wants. Sometimes I want to play with my friends, or I want a big hug. Other times, I want to be by myself in a quiet place. From my head to my toes, I listen to my body. It tells me when I'm hot or cold, and when I'm sleepy or hurt or hungry. It also tells me when I'm happy. I feel my smile in my tummy and my chest. I want to sing and dance. It tells me when I feel sad. I may feel my sadness in my tummy and my chest. I might cry. My body also tells me when I'm mad, embarrassed, or scared. From my head to my toes, my body is my own. If someone wants to hug me or tickle me, they must ask me first. And sometimes I say yes, and sometimes I say no. Both are okay. Sometimes someone doesn't remember to ask me first. When this happens, I can tell them to stop because my body belongs to me. Some people do not respect that my body is my own. They touch me without my permission or do other things that make me feel uncomfortable, hurt, or scared. They can make me feel unsafe. When I feel unsafe, I might be confused about what to do. Sometimes I don't know how to say no or don't know if I can say no. When that happens, I can ask for help. I trust my body. My body is still my own, from my head to my toes. Safe people make me happy, comfortable, protected, and safe. From my head to my toes, every part of my body is important, and every part of my body deserves to be safe. So I can use my voice to protect it because my voice is powerful. My voice is beautiful. My voice is worthy. My voice can keep me safe from my head to my toes. From my head to my toes, I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am enough. This ends the children's story, but there is also a letter to adult readers about how Allie reflected on what she wishes she knew when she was younger and what she wished that she could tell her younger self. And so she wrote this book to try and help families and children and youth understand their power and that their bodies are their own. And today's service is themed all about that, my body, my choice. We have lots of power inside of us, and even more power when we ask for help. Let's sing our children out to their religious education classes. You can rise in body or in spirit to do this. May our minds be open to new learning.
May your minds be open to new learning, and may your lips speak truth into the world. May your heart
dedicate time in each service each week to handle what we call matters of the heart, to reflect on the challenges and struggles we endure in this life on earth. As we enter a time of meditation and prayer, I invite you to find a comfortable position in your seat, to breathe and center yourself, while I offer some grounding words about radical rest from a woman who calls herself the Nap Bishop. Her name is Tricia Hersey. Let our rest be a resurrection. Let the veils be lifted so we can feel, see, taste, and smell the power of our rested selves. May we realize a full mental shift must be made to reimagine and reclaim rest as holy. May we be excited by the impossible and move through any cynicism or hopelessness to emerge on the other side steady with love, persistence, and hope. Rest can save, sustain, and prop us up when we feel weak and our backs are against the wall. Our greatest hope to thrive and disrupt is to rest deeply and intentionally. The rest is the work. It is how the portal for liberation and a reckoning will emerge and remain open. May the portal of rest be our refuge. May we go there often. May it be so, and amen. I invite you to remain seated as we sing together hymn number 1002 in the Teal hymnals, Comfort Me.
Comfort me,
After graduating college, a Unitarian Universalist, Lisa Sargent, worked at Planned Parenthood for several years. One day, after walking through a line of protesters holding signs urging her to repent, Lisa hung a bumper sticker in her office cubicle that said, "I'm pro-choice and I pray." Within 15 minutes of hanging it up, a colleague stopped by her desk. "Do you really pray?" she asked in a whisper. "Yes," Lisa answered. "So do I," the colleague replied, still whispering as if she was sharing the deepest of secrets. "I thought I was the only one." It turns out she wasn't. Lisa hardly got any work done that day due to the number of people who stopped to talk to her about the sticker. She learned that day that her colleagues weren't working at Planned Parenthood despite their religious beliefs, but because of them. She went on to have similar conversations with patients, many of whom were making their reproductive decisions, whether adoption, abortion, or parenting, after many hours of prayer and meditation. Discerning and determining our own path is a core value of Unitarian Universalist faith. We are a religion of people who choose. We count many heretics in our past. That actually has the Latin root of that word means choice. Early Unitarians and Universalists did not simply accept what the church leaders were saying during the times that they lived. Instead, they made choices about what they would believe. And these were courageous, dangerous things to do. It remains a courageous, dangerous thing to do, to stand with your values and convictions, that we have choices about how we can do this. Since June 2022, when the U.S. Supreme Court abandoned its duty to protect fundamental human rights to bodily autonomy and overturned Roe v. Wade, ruling that there's no federal constitutional right to abortion, our hearts have been breaking. Lives are and continue to be at risk. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker writes that the power to choose is the power of life in the midst of brokenness. Without choice, tragedy, impasse, and despair have the last word. With choice, creativity, responsibility, and possibility enter the conversation. With choice, human beings can enter into fuller personhood, becoming creative agents in the world who can transform life in the direction of greater justice, safety, and joy. Glennon Doyle's powerful book entitled Untamed outlines the origins of the anti-choice movement in our country. In the 1970s, a handful of rich and powerful white men began to worry about their ability to continue to racially segregate their private Christian schools and maintain their tax-exempt status. The civil rights movement was putting pressure on their money and power. They identified that anti-gay and anti-abortion evangelism was enough to emotionally galvanize a movement. Mind you, most evangelical leaders prior to the 1970s had either been indifferent or supported the court's ruling on Roe v. Wade, but not anymore. They sponsored a meeting of 15,000 pastors called the Religious Roundtable, and together they wrote a new memo that expressed outrage, calling for a holy war to lead the nation back to the moral stance that made America great. 1970s. Does that sound familiar? I wonder if they wore red hats. They trained pastors on how to persuade their congregations to vote in certain ways. Presidential candidate at the time, Ronald Reagan, who, as governor of California, had signed into law one of the most liberal abortion laws in the country, began using the language from the new memo. Evangelicals were thrilled, and the religious right was born. Doyle writes in his book that the face of the movement was pro-life and pro-family values. It was the stance of millions, but the blood running through the movement's veins was racism and greed of a few. Have you ever heard of the organization Focus on the Family? Yes. It's founded in 1977, to be exact, by the evangelical and fundamentalist James Dobson. It most prominently lobbies against LGBTQ rights, including those related to marriage, adoption, and parenting, labeling it a particularly evil lie of Satan. Focus on the Family also seeks to change public policy in the areas of sex education, creationism, abortion, state-sponsored school prayer, gambling, drugs, and enforcement of their interpretation of proper gender roles. While the more liberal Baptist churches that I grew up in did not subscribe to this heavy-handed focus on the family rhetoric, I cannot begin to tell you how tired I grew of hearing it associated with my Christian faith. Honestly, it's one of the major reasons that I became a UU minister. Because the UU focus on the family means something entirely different. We focus on the family in our encouragement each Sunday to browse our spirit work cart and adding a rocking chair and reading nook in the corner of our lobby that you can see immediately when you enter our front doors as a visible sign of welcome for families, or really anyone who might feel our sanctuary is a bit too much. We want all ages and diversities of life to feel welcome. We focus on the family by promoting choice and autonomy, by teaching comprehensive sex education to our children, youth, and even adults through our Whole Lives program you know as OWL. And we will continue teaching OWL regardless of any executive order that may tell us otherwise. We focus on revolutionary love on the families that are LGBTQ, adoptive, blended, non-traditional, multiracial, and multi-faith. We focus on our family of trans and non-binary kin by introducing ourselves with our own pronouns that align with our identity, and then asking the stranger for theirs, signaling a safe and brave space to be who you are, a promise to honor each and every gender identity on the spectrum, not just two, and to call you by your name. To our genderqueer and non-conforming beloveds, I will say this. They may not recognize you out there, but in this community, you shall be known. We focus on the interconnected family of which we are all a part, and we covenant to never use our faith to breed hate, remove choice, or lose sight of the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Unitarian Universalism has adopted a pro-choice stance since choice became a political issue in the late 1960s. Given the strong emphasis on feminism within our religion, our theological emphasis on freedom and equity, we have stood firmly behind the right of choice. Reverend Krista Taves reflects that many of us still differ on how we understand abortion. Some Unitarian Universalists believe that abortion is murder. However, in our tradition, we strive not to impose beliefs of our personal onto others. So we sit in diversity, sometimes in discomfort, and we allow it to be. Reverend Taves calls us as liberal religious people to reclaim the moral agenda because those who are controlling it are damaging our people now. She says, it's time for us to be very clear about what we stand for, because if we don't, others will. If we continue to be quiet, we will be branded the religion that stands for nothing, where you can believe anything you want, and then liberal religion becomes synonymous for permissiveness, immorality, and laxness. We do stand for something. We stand for freedom, equality, and compassion. We stand for a world that contains many truths. But this is not a religion where you can believe whatever you want, because we are called to a free and responsible search for truth. We are accountable for the consequences of our beliefs. So although we promote freedom, it is not freedom at all costs. This is not a religion of lone rangers. This is a religion of lovers of freedom who are called into community, because in community, we are held accountable for the consequences of our beliefs. Some years ago, I was attending a National Organization for Women conference in Indianapolis, and the guest speaker was Reverend Catherine Ragsdale. She was the president of an Episcopal divinity school, and I was a younger woman who had not yet found Unitarian Universalism or quit my job to go to seminary yet. It was a distant thought. But I was raised Baptist, as you know, and she spoke with clarity and grace. I admired her collar, her stance behind the podium, her voice, her presence. And then she said something that truly stunned me. She said, "To my fellow clergy, too often even those who support us can be heard talking about abortion as a tragedy. Let's be very clear about this. When a woman finds herself pregnant due to violence and chooses an abortion, it is the violence that is the tragedy. The abortion is a blessing. When a woman finds that the fetus she's carrying has anomalies incompatible with life, that it will not live, and she requires an abortion, often a late-term one, to protect her life, her health, or her fertility, it is the shattering of her hopes and dreams for that pregnancy that is the tragedy. The abortion is a blessing. When a woman wants a child but can't afford one because she hasn't the education necessary for a sustainable job or access to health care or daycare or adequate food, it is the absence, the abysmal priorities of our nation, the lack of social supports, the absence of justice that are the tragedies. The abortion is a blessing. And when a woman becomes pregnant within a loving, supportive, respectful relationship, has every option open to her, and decides she does not wish to bear a child, and has access to safe, affordable abortion, there is not a tragedy in sight, only blessing. The ability to enjoy God's good gift of sexuality without compromising one's education, life's work, or ability to put to use God's gifts and call is simply blessing. I sat stunned next to my activist comrades before we all rose in applause and hollers. She had preached a good word to all of us that day. We had every right to be outraged because our work was still not done. And this was probably 20 years ago. We were able to see the tragedy for what it was, though, the lack of choice, and the abortion for what it was, a blessing. The tragedy is all the rollbacks on human rights. The tragedy is the backwards policies that don't support life, liberty, or any pursuit of happiness. The tragedy is lawmakers who have little respect for human life. But our choice, that is the blessing. Our ability to fight and march and vote and organize, that is a blessing. Our resolve as a faith community to call it what it is and support reproductive justice, that is a blessing. The term reproductive justice was actually coined and created by a group of 12 Black women in 1994. They defined it as a human right to maintain personal bodily autonomy, have children, not have children, and parent their children in safe and sustainable communities. This definition provided the framework that sparked social movements across the country. The reproductive justice framework recognizes that reproductive health is impacted by social, economic, and political factors, and that reproductive rights are human rights, not just women's rights. It emphasizes the importance of centering the experiences of marginalized communities, including people of color, low-income individuals, and LGBTQ individuals. The recent reproductive justice movement has focused on several key issues, including access to comprehensive sex education, birth control, abortion, and maternal health care. Black women have played a leading role in advocating for these issues, using their voices and experiences to call attention to the systematic barriers that limit reproductive freedom. I really feel like we should thank Black women like we thank veterans for the ways that they have carried us through the minefields of unconscious bias and internalized white supremacy. We should thank them. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker asks us, why should we march to keep abortion safe and legal? Why should we care? Because where there is choice, there is life. Where there is life, there is hope. Where there is hope, we find ourselves holding bundles of joy in our arms. Each of us bears in our own bodies the powers of holding on and letting go. So I invite you to breathe with that sentiment for a moment. Each of us bears in our own bodies the power of holding on and letting go. Breathe in with the holding on. And breathe out with the letting go. Our hearts will continue to break along the way on this journey ahead, but we will hold each other with a love that will not let us go. Blessed be. May it be so, and amen. Once to every soul and nation. This is a new one to me, but one that I would like us to learn.
we now invite you into generosity as we collect our weekly offering. Each week, we commit to share our offering with a community organization that upholds our values. Our Share the Plate partner for January is the Pennsylvania Immigrant Resource Center, or PERC, which provides high-quality legal services to vulnerable immigrants and their families so that they may have a voice, dignity, and hope in communities across Pennsylvania. Specifically, PERC services are delivered through removal defense programs, which support immigrants in detention and facing deportation. Community programs, which support immigrant survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. And the Community Response Project, which provides immigration legal services to York County residents. Finally, immigrants may no longer be detained at the York County Prison, but there's a great need for free immigration legal services in the county, and PERC remains committed to serving the immigrants residing in York County. The ushers will now collect the offering. If this is your first time visiting with us, please feel free to let the basket pass you by. Your presence is a gift.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on marching up to freedom land, marching up to freedom land. There are words like freedom, sweet and wonderful to say. On my heartstrings freedom sings, all day, every day. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on singing, keep on shouting, keep on marching up to freedom land, marching up to freedom land. There are words like liberty that almost make me cry. If you had known what I know, you would know why. I cannot turn around. No, no. I cannot turn around. No, I cannot turn around.
No turning back, cannot turn around. No turning back,
I cannot turn around.
no turning back,
I cannot turn around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me, turn me, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on singing, keep on shouting, keep on marching up to freedom land, marching up to freedom land. Freedom.
Thank you, choir. Please join us in extinguishing our chalice and your home chalices, if you have lit them, with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I close today with the words of Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage, who writes, "We may have come to the end of our service, but not to our calling in the world. We close our time together with the humble reminder that justice and equity are our spiritual practices to embrace each day, every day. We are blessed to be the embodiment of what is possible when justice and equity ground us in all that we do. May we go forth with the light and warmth of our chalice in our hearts until we are together again. Blessed be. May it be so. And amen." Please rise one final time in body or in spirit to sing our closing hymn of resistance, 169, "We Shall Overcome."